The rain hadn't stopped for days. Chicago's streets glistened under the relentless drizzle, neon signs reflecting in puddles that shimmered like liquid mirrors. Inside a small South Side garage, Nina Harper wiped her greasy hands on a rag and muttered curses under her breath. The engine of the vintage Rolls-Royce refused to start yet again. Hours had passed as she traced wires, checked spark plugs, and prayed the ignition coil wasn't fried. She wasn't just any mechanic. Her reputation for fixing what others couldn't was hard-earned through stubbornness, long nights, and relentless determination. "Come on, baby, you're almost there," she whispered, speaking more to the car than anyone else. The garage door slammed open with a gust of wind, letting in rain and a sudden chill. Nina looked up, and the world seemed to stop. There he was, Cameron Prescott, the infamously arrogant CEO of Prescott Industries. Even drenched, he looked like he had stepped out of Fashion magazine. Tailored navy suit, perfectly styled hair, piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through her. "You're Nina Harper?" His voice was smooth, teasing, dangerously confident. "Yes," she replied, attempting to keep her irritation hidden. "And you are—" "The man with a car problem," he interrupted, stepping closer. "I've heard you fix what no one else can. Let's see if that's true." "I can," she said, lifting her wrench like a weapon. "But it'll take time. You might want to sit down." Cameron smirked, leaning casually against the hood. "If you fix it tonight, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse." "And what would that be?" Nina asked, raising an eyebrow. "Marry me." Nina blinked, then laughed, a full, incredulous laugh that echoed through the garage. "Excuse me." "You heard me," Cameron said, as casually as if ordering coffee. "Fix my car and I'll marry you. Or, at least, make it worth your while." "I don't even know you," Nina said, her voice sharp. "That's the fun part," he said with a grin, crossing his arms. "Consider it a challenge." Nina rolled up her sleeves and got to work, while Cameron hovered, occasionally offering advice she mostly ignored. "You sure you know what you're doing?" he asked. "I fix engines, not egos," she muttered. Hours passed. Sparks flew when a short circuit caused a tiny flare. Nina yelped. Cameron flinched, then laughed, unexpectedly impressed. "You're even braver than I thought," he admitted. "Or stupid," she countered, finally loosening the stubborn ignition coil. Sweat dripped from her brow. She could make this work. She just needed focus. Cameron leaned on the hood, silent now. She noticed for the first time that the arrogance was a mask. Beneath it, he seemed human, vulnerable even. "You could walk away now," he said quietly. "Most people would have." "I don't walk away from things I start," Nina replied firmly. By late evening, the rain had stopped. The garage smelled of oil, wet asphalt, and determination. Nina had traced the problem, a rare miswiring in the Rolls-Royce's vintage electronic ignition system. She connected the last wire, held her breath, and turned the key. The engine roared to life, smooth, powerful, echoing across the empty street. Cameron's jaw dropped. "You did it?" "I did," Nina said, stepping back, arms crossed, a small smirk on her lips. "And now—" Cameron's grin turned mischievous. "About that offer? You seriously expect me to marry you for fixing a car?" Nina said incredulously. "I take chances," he said. "Life's short. If I didn't, I'd never know what I wanted." "I don't even like you," Nina shot back. "Good," he said, stepping closer. "I want someone who challenges me, not flatters me." Over the next few days, Cameron kept showing up. He brought lunch, made small talk, and insisted, against Nina's protests, on helping in the garage. One night, while lifting a heavy transmission together, their hands brushed. For a brief moment, the garage, the cars, and the city melted away. "You don't have to act rich around me," Nina said. "I like who I am," Cameron admitted. "But I like who I am when I'm with you even more." Nina laughed nervously. "Don't say that. You'll make me soft." "You already are," he countered teasingly, but there was honesty in his eyes. Nina learned Cameron's life wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Pressure to uphold his family's empire, relationships built on convenience, friends who were more opportunists than companions. He admitted he had never met anyone like her. Fearless, unapologetically herself, unaffected by his wealth. She learned he carried insecurities too. A fear of being unworthy, a fear of genuine connection. And for the first time, Nina saw the man behind the millionaire mask. One evening, Cameron brought a classic, rare car to the garage. "Drive it," he said. "Let me see how you handle something priceless." "You have no idea how dangerous this is," she warned. "I trust you," he said simply. That moment, his trust, his vulnerability, shifted something in Nina. She realized she wasn't just fixing engines. She was navigating the start of something deeper. A relationship built on respect, challenge, and trust. The engine roared. The car glided smoothly. And Cameron wasn't the arrogant CEO now. He was a man letting himself be human. By now, Cameron's challenge had transcended cars. "I want you in my life," he said softly, locking eyes with her. "I don't even know you," Nina whispered. "You do," he said. "I've watched your patience, stubbornness, and fire. I can't imagine a day without you." She shook her head, laughing softly. "You're impossible." "And yet," he said, stepping closer, "I think you're perfect for me." Her heart skipped. She realized she felt the same. "I could say yes," she murmured, "but only because I want to, not because of a bet." Cameron smiled, lifted her hand to his lips. "Then that's the only answer I'll accept." Months later, Nina and Cameron's love had become a city legend, not for his wealth, but for its authenticity. Cameron had learned humility. Nina had learned trust. The Rolls-Royce? Restored, shining, part of their shared story. Every drive reminded them of the night it all began. "I told you," Cameron said, squeezing her hand. "If you could fix it, I'd marry you." "And I did," Nina said, smiling. "But I fix a lot more than just your car." And as the engine roared, it wasn't just a machine. It was the sound of two hearts finally in sync, no challenge left undone. Moral/ending note. Sometimes the most challenging things in life aren't engines or wealth. They're trust, vulnerability, and letting someone in. And sometimes the roar of an engine is a heartbeat of love.